Welcome to Tuesday Talk. I'm just enjoying a cool breeze on a warm day, late spring, and doing some planting. And I thought I would just take this time to welcome you to this week's video. And our new member, Cheryl Wall, suggested that we do flea market flips again. So I I'm all about that because I have a lot of junk and I did not go thrifting for it. I harvested my own stash, which is really makes me happy. In project number 1, I'm taking this old tin. It was a tobacco tin, and I'm going to use a paddle bit and put a hole in it. My end goal here is a birdhouse. Now, it's relatively easy to drill through this tin, but watch what happens. Yeah, it went a little off the rails, but that's okay. No harm, no foul. You can see my piano keys from my Sunday's video. So I just put it in and try it again, and it just is really wonky, and it keeps doing that, but it doesn't take much because it's pretty much through. So I just pull it out and carefully, because this is like a tin can at this point. It is a tin can. I pull that little tab out. I twist it. I don't care in the back if it's sharp, because it's really not going to be a functional birdhouse, but I am going to cover up that opening on the outside so it won't be sharp to the touch. But I'm just going to use a mold, and I've dusted it with cornstarch, and now I'm just using Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay. And this is the Trimmings 2 mold, I believe. Might be Trimmings 3. But I'm just pressing that in there and going to make a little edge for the outside of that hole I made in the birdhouse. It comes out pretty easily, and I just form it around the circle, and then I'll use some Titebond Thick and Quick glue and glue it into place. You want to make sure you get the glue the whole way to the edges of the mold. I'm just wiping off any excess glue with a damp paper towel around the edges so you don't see that when it dries. Now I have a real little wooden finial that I got in a package at the craft shop. I was doing some sort of project, and these were extra little pieces that were in there. And so I'm just using that for a perch for the birdhouse. Now it's time to add a top. I use Titebond Thick and Quick again around the top of the can, and then I put 2 just scrap pieces of wood together. One of them, as you can see, is from an old window sash, and it has the thing to turn it, the little hardware thing, which I thought was cool. I also used some little L brackets. I put 4 screw eyes in the corner and used some silk cord to make a hanger for it. Project number 2 starts with a charger plate that I bought on clearance from Pier 1 a long time ago. This time I'm using a paint inlay, but I didn't paint it first. It's this gold like you see on the edge, but I used satin clear coat. So we're just using a sealer as our medium. Now I know I didn't film that first part, but I painted the charger plate with satin clear coat. I laid the inlay down in it, and now I'm just wetting the inlay because I want to get all the little wrinkles out. I think I thought I was filming. That happens sometimes, and I'm having trouble with my sprayer there, but I'm just going to get some water on there. The idea in this step is to get as many wrinkles out as you can, or sometimes wrinkles aren't bad, but the other part of it is to get the image pressed into that paint, or in this case, the clear sealer, because you want that to make really good contact. So another trick that I've been trying that I saw the IOD sisters do is to mist the back of the inlay before you apply it to the wet paint. So I did that as well. And then it was set aside to dry. Once it's fully dry, because I believe I let it overnight, but it only takes an hour or so, depending on your heat and humidity and all those factors. But now I'm wetting that paper again, and the reason we wet it this time is just so that you can peel it off easily and leave your image. Time for the moment of truth when you start to peel off your image and see if you have a good transfer or not. And this one is looking very good. Yay, it looks great. I love it. Off camera, I sprayed it with Rust-Oleum's 2X Clear sealer. You want to do that before you do anything else. You don't have to use that brand. You can also take sealer and 50-50 it with water. So I felt like the design was a little bit off balance. So I took a couple words from a transfer and I looked it up, and I think that it means must have. I'm really weird about choosing words that I don't know what they mean. So these are French words. So I have to look it up to make sure that it makes sense. I just don't want a person who speaks French fluently to look at my piece and go, okay, why does it say, salve on a kitchen picture or something? You know what I mean? So anyway, I am cutting the design to fit in that little bottom part, and I'm just putting that transfer on. And next I'm going to take some black wax. Because it's already sealed, I don't have to use any clear wax or a clear, sealer over it. So I'm just using a chip brush and applying that. And now just wiping it back with a soft cloth. Project number 3 is this picnic basket I've had in my stash forever. I've tried to sell it as is in the shop and it hasn't sold, and it just needs freshened up, so that's what we're going to do with this one. I'm going to use Dixie Belle's drop cloth, and I'm going to paint the entire inside. I'm basically just going to paint the entire basket with the drop cloth. As I paint the wicker part of it, I'm not caring too much about getting it in all of the little cracks and crevices, mainly because I think that it's going to accentuate the pattern in the weave of the wicker a little more. But I'm going to add another design detail to it as well. I love my paint inlays, and I think this project is another one to give it a go with. And I'm doing a lot of experimental things with the paint inlays. It's just, it's no fun unless you push the envelope a little bit. It doesn't have to be flat and wrinkled free for me to enjoy it. I'm cutting off the extra edges, and I'm also cutting it in half because I tried to match up the design, but the sheets are really long. So this way, when I cut it in half, and I did some lots of placement that I didn't, show all on camera, but the grid lines helped me to get it cut in half evenly, but my top two pieces and my bottom two pieces are all going to match, and there's a little seam on the side of the basket, so I think it's just going to work out perfectly. So I've just been kind of trying them on just to make sure that they match, and as you know by now, you have to put wet paint. So we're going to use another coat of the drop cloth in order to embed the paint inlays in. And I am going to mist the back of the inlays as well. I don't think I do a great job at this, but because it's curved down at the bottom, it gets a little narrower. I take the scissors and I just kind of cut like a pleat, or if you will, kind of that type of thing in there so that I can just kind of fold it over on itself. I could actually cut a V out, but I'm trying to just make it so that the design makes sense, and maybe I can reuse the sheet later as well. So just trying to use it as wet as I can, and we will see. Again, this is kind of experimental on the wicker, and we'll see how this one turns out. Because it's a paint inlay, if it doesn't turn out, that paint's embedded in there, I can just paint over it. Okay, everything is dry, and now it's time to peel up that inlay and see how we did. I am wetting it again pretty heavily with the mister bottle. I do have a little trouble removing it. It wants to tear just because of the uneven nature of the surface, but I keep working at it. I'm excited because as I peel it up, I can see that my design looks pretty darn good. Yes, I'm very pleased, and I get a small brush and mermaid tail, and I decide to paint the top trim and the handles of the basket. I'm not sure what you think, but I think it's a little cutie, and I think the chances of it selling in my shop have just increased by about 100%. I'll keep you posted. I'm also kind of fond of this little birdhouse just hanging out in my shop, and I don't think it's going to hang out there for long because also I think it's a little cutie too. Last but not least is our elegant artichoke charger plate. Don't forget to hit join so you can help decide what we do on Tuesday Talk as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Visit us at lavintagedecor.company, and also on Instagram we're LaVintage Decor, and on Facebook we're LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.